everyone. This is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Business Communications at Ozarka College. Today what I'd like to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the Chapters 3 and 4 activities that I finished grading earlier this week. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our next set of chapter activities for Chapter 5. And then I'm also going to remind you about the Project 1 that we have coming up due kind of towards the middle of the semester, but it's something that you do need to go ahead and open up the instructions for and kind of get started on. Like I said, the first thing is the Chapters 3 and 4 activities. I did finish grading those Monday of this week. Hopefully you've already gone in and looked at your grades for those and read the grading comments. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the Chapters 3 and 4 activities, especially the assignment. I really appreciate the time and effort that you're putting in, so keep up the good work on that. Most of you did well on the objective test. Just as a reminder, I know I always remind you of this, but you can take those chapter tests as many times as you want to up until the due date. So just kind of keep that in mind for the remaining chapter test. And that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities. So if you go to the activities page in My Ozarka, we're kind of at the middle portion of week 4 of this semester right here. We don't have anything else due this week. We just had work due Sunday. But we do have work due early next week. So specifically under week 5 here, we've got the Chapter 5 assignment and test due by Monday, September 15th. So you've got just a little under a week to be working on that. I would not wait until next week to get started. Don't wait until the day it's due, Monday of next week. Go ahead and work on it now, this week, and give yourself plenty of time. Now, one thing that I need to mention about Chapter 5 activities is there is no discussion assigned for Chapter 5. So it's just the assignment and the test. Just make sure that you're using all the resources that are available to you. You've got your, of course, your textbook. You've got the PowerPoint slides that I uploaded into the assignment page. And then also you've got your videos that I've linked at the bottom of the assignment page. So make sure you're using all those resources. I think most of you are, but I just thought I would remind everyone of that. And the other thing I need to point out, before I talk about the Project 1 guidelines, Chapter 5 covers electronic communication. So that's what we're working on now. So in the Chapter 5, we're going to learn about how to effectively communicate electronically with various types of electronic communication. Of course, electronic communication is the way that most businesses communicate with their various constituents today. So it's very important to know the proper methods and procedures for communicating with electronic means. So you're going to be looking at email. Of course, email is a very common way of electronically communicating. There's also text messaging, web pages, social media obviously is very important today, voicemail, cell phone communication, and then also collaboration, working on projects and various things together electronically. So just like I said, make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to work through the Chapter 5 activities, and let me know if you have any questions as you're working. And the final thing I need to talk about is the Project 1 persuasive letter under week 8. Now, it's not due until next month. You've still got some time to work on it, but the reason I'm bringing it up now is because it's going to take some time to work through and to complete. And so if you haven't already, I sent everyone an announcement the other day that had information about the project and explained that you need to go ahead and at least start looking at it, start looking at the guidelines for it. But If you haven't done that already, go ahead and definitely spend some time this week opening up the instructions for Project 1. And for the project, you're basically going to be creating a persuasive letter, which is a very common type of letter in business where you're trying to convince someone, either one of your constituents or whatever, you're trying to convince that person on the other end of the communication uh, of some kind of action, take some kind of action, or to persuade them to do something. And that's, like I said, it's a very common type of communication. So I have provided a template for you that I'd like you to use for the project. That'll make it a lot easier because all the formatting will be done according to standards for business letters. And then I've also provided under additional resources here, in addition to the template, I provided some tips and examples of persuasive letters. All right. And I've also provided down at the bottom of the page here some videos that explain how to write a persuasive letter. All right. So be working on that. At least get started on that project. You don't want to wait till, just a few days before it's due to get started, because it will take some time. It's going to take some research and so forth. So give yourself plenty of time by at least getting started on that project now. Okay. If you have any questions as you're working on it, just let me know, and I'll be glad to help you. Other than that, I don't have anything else for you today. So be working on that stuff, and have a good rest of your week and weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime next week. Thank you.